Hey buddies, I promised a vlog like this on my last vlog about this summer and my obsession with Overwatch. Now don't tune out yet. If you've been sick of me playing Overwatch, or if you're one of the people who've had issue with how this summer seemed just like Overwatch, Overwatch, and more Overwatch, I just want to listen to you, listen just for a moment and try to just understand it from my perspective and why I've been so dedicated to it. If you're a longtime fan, you'll know that every summer, kind of a cooldown time like this happens, or rather, the opposite of cooldown, because it gets so fucking hot that shows just tend not to happen on that regular day schedule that we try to keep during the fall and winter. And side effect of that is, in those lazy dog days, I like to get obsessed with something. And this year, it happened to be Overwatch. In previous years, I had about, I think, 2 summers of TF2, and I'm going to get into TF2 later because part of the obsession is because I love games like this, and I'll compare the two later, but I want to just get into the basics of why I love Overwatch first, so that you don't have to, like, if you're not an expert at these games, or like, I'll get into the nitty-gritty later. But what I wanted to the other game was Civilization, in recent memory. Like, when I get obsessed with something, I need to get over the hump. I gotta understand everything in that thing to the last minute detail until I'm satisfied, and then I can start to become more casual with it. So the fact is, Overwatch is new, and I gotta get over the hump. I need to know every little last thing and feel like I truly understand the game, and I still don't feel like I'm there, but I'm getting there. That's just how my obsessions work. I'm sure a lot of you out there are like me, where it's like, if you love something, some new thing, you just got to dedicate every waking moment to it until you beat it like a dead horse, and then after a while you're like, okay, I could actually do without Overwatch today, or something like that. But the main reason, the number one reason I have to say that I love Overwatch so much is because it's so accessible, and Becky loves it. She likes it, and not only just likes it, like, oh, this is nice to watch or nice to kind of play around. She actually wants to become a better player. She's actually getting, like, competitively, well, like, she's not amazing. Like, she's a kid who grew up playing almost exclusively platforming games and no 3D based world games. Like, even the new Zeldas, 3D based Zeldas, she feels are a little bit daunting. And so somebody who's, like, basically new to twin stick 3D atmospheres is able to be a viable, like, contributing member to a team in an Overwatch game with much higher skill level players than her. And that's the beauty of the game. Blizzard does such a great job of making a game that is accessible to people of a large span of skill level, while still maintaining a reasonably high skill cap to keep pros interested in, and having a character base and a system that just is, you just get it. When, like, even if you haven't played games like this before, you see these characters, you see what they do, and it all just kind of clicks. It makes sense. It's so unlike some games, and I'll get again into the nitty gritty, but, like, I tried to get Becky into TF2. It's a very technical game. It's as fun as it looks on the surface. If you watch the, like, animations of TF2 and stuff like that, it looks like sort of a romp. In fact, it is really technical and actually quite difficult to get good at because of certain characters, and just, like, how unforgiving it can be if you're playing with people of exceptionally high skill level. Whereas I feel in Overwatch, even if I'm, like, as a mid-60s player, which is, according to Blizzard, like, getting close to, like, the top 5% of players, I can go in, group up with people who are in the 40s, which is, like, average, which is, like, a good player. But I can group up with them, and they can be against people my skill level because I'm in their group with them, but not feel as though the game has become unfair because they're being headshot every time they walk out of spawn, or, like, backstabbed, and they just can't see how to actually survive, let alone contribute to the team. Overwatch doesn't seem to have that. Anyways, I'm getting into the nitty-gritty that I said I wouldn't, but that's the number one reason. Becky and I actually, like, as we're going to sleep, we'll sit there and, like, have casual conversations about characters and strategies and viable, like, who's viable on what maps and how she's been playing certain characters, and I give her pointers and stuff like that, and she's genuinely interested. She's not just, like, pandering because she's like, oh, I'll be interested in the things you're interested in. Becky loves video games. She's just never been able to love a video game like this before. She felt like it seemed insurmountable, the price of entry. And that's the second point, is because I feel like the entry, it's less of a learning curve. I feel like everybody in our community can play, And by the way, I think they're going to have a free trial, like open up free trials soon. So if you were holding off just because like it wasn't in the budget and you didn't think that it was the type of game for you, I want you to get everybody in our community to give it a try, because I have had some of the most fun I've ever had playing with Turbos in the last month, as we started to try to play competitively together and group up with a team of 5 other Turbos. And I've had frustrating moments, sure, as I'm like even frustrated basically with myself because I'm still not understanding the game. I tend to get competitive, but when you work together as a team with a group of friends and take on 6 other strangers who just seem to be like, the most evil people to you because they're against you, and it's like you can become so annoyed and enraged by their strategies. It's like, how dare they do that, thinking they can get away with that or this. But then when you crack through those defenses or whatever and you like figure it out and find out what we needed to do to make it work as a team, sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes you just have a very horrible defeat, but you're losing together. But when you do figure it out, it's the most gratifying feeling. And I could point to some highlights in some of the gameplay I've had with Turbos that are just some of the like straight up cheering. Like I'm friggin' like going nuts in some moments where we win games we didn't think we could and stuff like that. It's so much fun to play it like that with friends. And I recommend that everybody who's like, if this free trial comes especially, to give it a shot, go in, group up, and just tool around, just derp around and see what you think. It's such a fun game. Then there's the lore and stuff like that. If the world that they've created doesn't click with you, I can understand how it'd be a much less interesting prospect to get into Overwatch, because for me, I love it. I love the style of the characters. They're not too serious. They're not too cutesy. I wish there was more blood. Like, that's one of my favorite things about TF2 is how laissez-faire they are with the gore. I love that cartoony gore and blood and destruction. But Overwatch still, I feel like the personalities and the characters, and there's a character for everybody, really click with me, and I'm really interested in the story, so that also helps. And I think that's another reason why Becky was so into it. And the fact, I guess, that it's just becoming so, I mean, I understand how it's probably annoying if you're not into Overwatch, how much Overwatch is everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. It's becoming gaming culture right now. It's like Overwatch, and you can bet that when we go to PAX in about like 2-3 weeks, when I come back, probably 50% of the cosplay is going to be Overwatch. It's not just my obsession. 15 million gamers over the last couple months joined up and are playing. Everybody's playing it, and I can understand how that can be annoying if you didn't jump on the ship right away. That it's just like, oh fuck, I've heard enough of this fucking Overwatch and this Pokemon Go, and I just want to play my Mario World and let it go back to, I don't know. I don't care. Anyways, I was just trying to do an impression of the curmudgeon I picture not liking Overwatch. I don't know what I was going with there. But, and I think that's, the other thing that's kind of exciting to me is I can't remember the last time that I was so into a game that everybody was into. Like, I've jumped in hook, line, and sinker, and I'm just embracing the culture, and I'm not looking at memes on the internet about the game and rolling my eyes. Like, I'm actually buying into them. Like, it's cheap, it's stupid, it's silly, but it's fun to be a part of something that so many people enjoy and not have 1 ounce of negative opinion about it. And my last vlog was on that topic. I hate it when like, I'm not gonna ever fight it. I can't, because I have to be honest, but I hate being against popular opinion because it's not fun. I love it when I love something that seems like everybody else loves, and I think that's what's also making me love Overwatch so much. That, and the fact that I'm not bad at that game. I'm actually pretty good. And I feel like for the first time on the show, I can actually speak with some authority and tell people how to play certain characters, and I feel like I'm a little bit of, like, I'm not just Frash the stupid gamer who just makes jokes and takes a piss every time that I play a game. I can actually go in there and tell you this is how you get good at this or that. Like, I'm not like trying to humble brag here or just straight up brag, but I will. Like, I'm in the top echelons of players. I'm nowhere near, like the mountain gets real steep from here to get up to like the really high echelons, but like I'm at the point where I'm good at this game, and I love that too. And being able to just, I don't know, talk shop with people who are really into it too, and talk about genuine strategies, and like watch pro players play and be like, yeah, you know, stuff like that. And I'm actually excited to see where this goes on an esports level. I've always thought the prospect of esports looked cool. I've always thought it looked exciting. The arenas full of people watching League of Legends and stuff, but I don't like those games. I just can't. I don't want it. I never even liked, when I was younger, I remember when my friends started playing competitive, like trying to really get into the StarCraft 2, and I was like, I didn't like I always remembered liking the micromanaging when I played the computer, but as soon as it started becoming a thing where you had to go against each other and be really fast and stuff, it just didn't feel right to me. And then my carpal tunnel today, I can't even begin to think of playing a game like that. In addition to the fact that, and I don't want to disparage that game, this isn't a vlog about saying how League of Legends RTSs or MOBAs suck, but real-time strategy and stuff like that, but it just feels like from a casual perspective, like watching esports that are based on that type of gameplay just aren't nearly as interesting as watching, I feel, Overwatch. Like a game where, like, I feel like in MOBAs, everything's kind of small. Everything like is glowy and all kind of looks ish the same. And I know it doesn't to somebody who's played it, but it's like to like, let's say to my mom, she'd look at that and be like, I don't fucking what. But I feel like if she watched, my mom could watch a game of Overwatch and laugh or like understand kind of what's going on. A giant monkey is jumping at the cowboy and he's running away scared. Or, well, actually McCree takes on Winston pretty effectively. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you just see it. It's like there's a girl in a giant robot. There is a person with a healing beam that floats around. Like, it, you know, everything, like that guy with a giant shield and a giant hammer, and it's all just so, I feel like, spectator friendly. And that's what I think is also exciting. I am really interested in watching high-level tournaments, and I'm hoping that there will be some tournaments at PAX that potentially Becky and I could peek in on, just see what it looks like to watch Overwatch live on a stage. And that sums it up, I guess. I mean, I said I'd get into the nitty-gritty of it versus TF2. The biggest reason, like in my previous years, and this is the benefit, unlike when I was obsessed with TF2, TF2 was a rare occurrence on the show where it was like, if there was an update, then I would get my controller out and simulate the mouse and keyboard and just show people TF2 and talk about TF2. But the show's a couch show, and it's not set up for real play, and I wouldn't be able to get really excited and show you like some gameplay and put like, because it's on console, I'm able to really put it on the show. Whereas TF2, I did a few full screen shows, it just didn't feel right. That's not our show, full screen. So that's the biggest thing, is that it's on consoles, and that Blizzard is so dedicated to supporting consoles into the future, they say, as much as PC. And for that reason, a person who doesn't feel like they can use mouse and keyboard anymore, can sit on a couch and have a reasonably like equal standing with everybody else, because we're all using a controller, hopefully. And it's so show friendly, and it just makes it a more casual, like, it still can be competitive, but it is also just a little bit more laid back, because like, even though I like being good at the game, I don't want to be that guy that's just like thinks he's going pro or some shit like that, and I feel like I'm just one step behind and able to be kind of separated from that by being on console. Anyways, the other thing is like TF2, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty here too much, but there is so much that Overwatch fixed that I had a problem with TF2 with. And one of the biggest things is just that snipers aren't as powerful. And that's amazing to me. I don't feel like a game is fun when you can't see the person that you're fighting. If you can't, like the spy and sniper, to me, ruined TF2 for a potentially much wider audience. And Overwatch has snipers. It's just that they've balanced them in a way so that they're not nearly as, you know, in TF2, a sniper can fucking take out, in fact, a sniper is meant to take out the tanks. The sniper is kind of there to like try to pick off the tank, and that just seems wrong to me. Whereas in TF2 or in Overwatch, you know, snipers, they may still get the squishies pretty effectively, but those, you know, high mobility squishy characters can stay away, at least take another avenue, or get behind a tank, and the tank won't go down from one shot to the head. I don't even remember. Can a sniper take out a heavy in one shot? I think he can. Yeah, they can. Yeah. Anyways, it's just they've balanced it so much better that it's just nowhere near as frustrating a game. And like I said, nowhere near as technical a game. The fact that my favorite type of character, a high-flying soldier, doesn't need to rocket jump in, a skill that I learned when I used to play Quake 2 when I was in public school, that slowly faded over time due to my carpal tunnel, and I can't even really play an effective TF2 soldier anymore, despite my love of rocket jumping and being in the air. On Overwatch, rocket jumping, it's just a jetpack. It's a one-button click. And yes, that takes less skill, but the fact is you have to devote your skill to other places, because while in TF2 not everybody can rocket jump, in Overwatch everybody can, so they're honing their skills on other things, like how to pick a target properly and how to increase their aim. So I don't know, this is kind of nitty-gritty. I haven't thought this part of this vlog through. I just wanted to like say like I like Overwatch more than TF2. I loved TF2, but I'm so happy that Overwatch is here, because it's just answered so many problems that I had with TF2 that I don't think that Valve seemed to ever have any intention of fixing. And that's pretty much it. I'm obsessed. The obsession's slowly fading a little bit. I'll always love Overwatch. I'm going to be playing this into the future, so I guess the last little thing I have to say is get used to it. We're still going to be playing lots of games, especially as the busy season is coming. Don't worry, it's not the Overwatch show now. It's just that I needed to play a lot, and I did play a lot, and I'll still be playing a lot, but the show's not going to be devolved into just one game. Don't worry about that. We're going to get back to, especially as the summer heat starts to fade, it'll go back into the show proper, and you'll get Overwatch shows every so often. Just like Minecraft, our shows seemed to be so Minecraft dedicated for a while. It was. I really kind of got obsessed with Minecraft at that time. Let's hope it lasts a little bit longer than my interest in Overwatch. Anyway, I don't know. Now I'm just rambling, but thanks for listening. I hope that makes a little bit more sense to you. If you were, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you'll just take a little stank off of your complaints about Overwatch shows, just understanding how much I have been enjoying it, and how much fun and joy I've been getting from the game, and how, you know, I've looked forward to waking up and playing video games. You know, the last time I did that was when I got really obsessed with, like, you know, Dragon Age or something like that. Like, I love obsessions. That's my thing. I jump from one to the next. Alright, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, guys. I love you.